Hi everybody. Yeah, I know. The hair is a shock, so I wanted to explain. Last weekend, I just kind of went a little nuts. And I borrowed the neighbor's dog clippers, you know, the one you plug in. And I was just going to trim a little. But, you know, if you've ever watched me pull cards, I cannot get the backwards concept right. So I'm looking in the mirror, but I'm seeing everything in the opposite direction. And I did it, and it shaved it right down. And so I tried to save a little on the top, but, you know, once I had that big strip, I had to keep going, and actually it's very freeing, except, you know, I feel a little masculine maybe, but that's okay. Anyway, just to let you know, yes, I'm going crazy too, in case you are feeling out of balance. It is crazy times. So, hair aside, craziness aside, well, it's never really all that far aside with me, I guess. I didn't have a video that I was going to film. I actually was going to do a pick a card. And then the material provided itself because it was a light bulb moment. So let's just say my life hasn't been going that smoothly lately. I feel like I'm a failure at everything. So there's where I started. And then I found out last week that I'm going to have to move out of my place that I thought I was settled into for years and years to come. It was supposed to be a very long-term rental, and now suddenly I have to find a new place. So I'm stressed, feeling like a failure, and I'm stressed about where I'm going to go. And I don't have any personal support. I don't have anyone, you know, that listens to me and talks to me. And so I posted on Facebook that I was scared about how little there is out there to rent and how expensive what is out there is. And then I realized, you know how when you meet someone and you can tell that they are sad or scared or hurt or whatever, and you ask them about it and they deny it? I learned tonight why people don't usually admit that they are scared, because the response, while very well intended and loving, was to say, look for the positives. Well, of course, but I'm scared right now. Or the universe will have your back. Yes, I know that, and I will get there, but I'm scared right now. You know, they meant it so well. But what I really wanted was for someone to say, it's okay to be scared. Things are really scary right now. It's looking bleak. It's okay to be scared. And would have just allowed me to be there. I think they call it holding space. You know, I know everything's going to be okay. I know I will get to the place where I can see the positives. I know that if I've had this tower moment, it's because there's something good down the road, and it'll all become clear. I know all that. But when you're right in it, you just want someone to give you permission to feel it. I know that the people that commented were absolutely right. I know that they were doing what they thought was what I most needed at the time. And for many people, maybe that's exactly what they would have needed. But for me, you know, I'm used to being stoic. I am used to being the one that says, oh, you know, Pollyanna's here. Everything will be okay. We'll figure this out. it was a very vulnerable moment for me to admit I was scared. And I just really didn't need anything more than people to tell me it was understandable and it was okay to feel it. You know, I don't mind pity parties. I think sometimes we have shit happen to us and we need a little pity party. You know, and it could be a couple hours. Maybe you'd even give yourself permission to have a pity party for a day. The point being that I don't think that we should have to repress or suppress feeling scared. I don't think that it's a 4-letter word, which is probably what the title of this will be. Scared is not a 4-letter word. Neither is sad or depressed. Neither is feeling hurt. Neither is confused. None of those things are 4-letter words. They aren't nasty, you know, but they are things that we're ashamed to admit. And you know why? It's because someone's going to tell you, oh, look at all the wonderful things in your life. Why are you depressed? It's depression. It doesn't always make sense. It doesn't mean you don't appreciate all that you have in your life. It just means you've got this stuff that keeps you from being able to see those positives at the time. And it's not an intention of not having gratitude. It's just you can't get there. It's like after you lose a baby. People will say, there must have been something wrong with the baby. There's a reason for it. Or, you'll have another baby, it'll be fine. As if you didn't suffer a loss, you know, worth mourning or being depressed about. You know, they diminish what you're feeling. Not on purpose. That's what I figured out tonight. People tell you what they perceive would make you feel better or the best you can. And it could be based on what makes them feel better, how they are motivated to, you know, come out of a funk or whatever. But people don't, how am I going to put this? People don't think about what they're saying and how it might impact you by shutting you down, because part of the reassurance that people give you is because they're uncomfortable with your pain. You know, your sadness, your fright, whatever it is. Those strong emotions make people feel uncomfortable. That's really the only word I can think of. Those kinds of things, those strong feelings, make people feel uncomfortable so often they just say the first thing out of their mouths without analyzing it and not realizing, you know, I don't want to feel it. Let's cheer you up. Let's help you see that, you know, things will change. You will rise up, like the song. I think what goes wrong with this kind of thing is that people assume. You know, wouldn't it be really nice if someone just said, I'm not going to assume I know what you need to hear. I'm not going to assume I know what you want. I'm not going to assume any of that. So I'm just going to ask you, what is it I could do for you right now that would be the best thing for you? What is it I could say to you that would make you feel validated or just feel better to have been heard? You know, people just don't think about doing that, myself included, but I think it might be something to add to my repertoire. Yeah. gotta learn what you can, right? Can we really know better than someone what they need or what they want? Isn't it rather presumptuous of us to think that we know better than they do what's best for them? And again, I'm including myself in this. You know, assuming is just something that gets us into deep shit. It's like, if you want to know what I want, just ask me. I would tell you. You know, it's like, don't assume I want a Red Mountain Dew because right now I want a Pepsi. You know, it's like, I think most of us just jump in figuring, you know, we know what our part in this should be, but, you know, what's the harm if we just ask? And this experience tonight actually showed me a lot about what I could change in my approach, you know, when I see that someone could use some support. You know, there is no harm intended. It's just sometimes our pain can be too much for people to have to tap into, even if it's in a very small part. So my whole point of this was, during this quarantine, people are going to be getting more and more edgy. So we're more sensitive, they're more sensitive, there are bound to be misunderstandings. And I want to encourage you to tell people what you're feeling, to really tell people what you're feeling. And not feel like you have to hide it, because you're hiding it, assuming they're going to make fun of you or say something stupid. But you're spending time thinking about that. So is it any better than if you just went ahead and shared how you were feeling and maybe they did say something stupid? Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, you're already going through it. So why not unburden yourself? Because I just cannot be an advocate of repressing or suppressing. I know that I don't fit into that love and light category because I understand the darkness or the shadows so well, and it's like I can't leave those out, and I can't encourage anyone else to leave those out. They're all part of who we are. We are entitled to feel them, and they don't have to be hidden because they make other people uncomfortable. You know, it happens. I've been uncomfortable around people. I know that I make people uncomfortable a lot of the time. Just never made the connection that it might be because they were actually feeling what I was feeling and didn't understand it. You know, I'm going on and on and on, and I may not be making sense because I'm still processing it. You know that I always would encourage everyone to be authentic. And that means expressing how you feel. It's freeing to finally say what you're feeling. And you shouldn't have to worry about how other people are judging you, because if they are judging you, it could be they're not who you're supposed to be around. That's all I'm saying. So be kind to the people that maybe say the wrong thing to you, but please, you know, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and know it is okay. It is justified. Who has ever gone through a pandemic quarantine? You know, it's all really weird. So it's okay to be thrown off balance. It's okay to be feeling whatever you're feeling. Don't let it become something that you're ashamed of. What you feel is okay. You know? And I think it would probably be okay for them to say, you know, it makes me a little uncomfortable. Honestly, I'd rather just run instead of reassure you, but it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Why should you give a rip about what I'm talking about? You don't have to. But You never know when just the right person comes by and it's exactly what they needed to hear. Just be kind. I mean, really, it all boils down to that in most of life. Just be kind to yourself. Be kind to other people when they don't know how to be kind to you. You know, let's just all be kind to each other during these challenging times. And then when we get back to normal, it's just a good way to be, don't you think? Done rambling now. Till the next time. Thanks for the material universe. It distracted me from being scared, but I'm still a little scared. Okay, guys.